Okay, this is Linda Barrett Olson. It's July 24th, 2015, and I thought I'd start out. I was going to tell some stories about you know, the stones out here at St. Peter's Cemetery in Sisseton. I'm going to start with this one that's way out here on the corner. You see how it's away from all the other graves. It's like across the road, and there on the other side of the road is the, you know, the cemetery proper. But way out here on the corner is a hand-poured cement obelisk, whatever you call that, little headstone that my grandpa Mike made. And I first noticed this like back in the 50s. My first memory of this is from the 50s, when my mom, Lillian, would have told what she knew about this. And when I was here back in the 50s, this was all full out, like you saw the two T's here at the end, and on this other end over here, there was an H, just an initial H in these block letters. You can see they're just hand scratched in, that my grandpa made this. And she told the story that this was Dad's brother, Harry, she thought his name was, who died as a child, like shortly after birth, or maybe at birth. And she said that it was like Grandma and Grandpa out on the farm in a snowstorm, young, didn't get to town in time for the baptism. And when they came to bury the child, because it was unbaptized, it had to be not on sacred ground, but out here in the corner, as near to the blessed ground or sacred ground as possible. So, you know, I remember hearing about limbo when I was a child, and the nuns at St. Peter's School, you know, told us that limbo was a very peaceful, you know, just a beautiful place for the little accidents of life, you know, little like babies like this who got born and died before they could choose to be baptized. That they would remain forever unchristian and alone and outside of the love and light of God, but you know, relatively happy and peaceful. Well, anyway, so I wasn't quite satisfied with this, and I remember once back, I don't know, we would have been kids at St. Peter's, probably 3rd, 4th grade, on bikes, and we went into town after seeing this and stole holy water out of St. Peter's Church, you know, probably in a mayonnaise jar, and biked back out here. And I remember with my friends, Diane and Susie, maybe Rosemary, I don't know, I remember doing this sort of a little druid ritual around this. Little girls holding hands and walking around the stone, little Stonehenge, all on its own. And we poured the holy water over the top and let it run down into the earth. And we you know, chanted the we baptize you, Harry, in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Ghost. Years later, with Karen and Gail, I remember it was after Mom and Dad were already gone, and we found Emily Smouse's grave. I'm going to start walking over this way towards Emily's grave. Emily was, let's see, so Mike and Wally were the parents of this baby Harry. Oh, and Emily told the story that she thought the baby's name was Arthur, and that Grandma and Grandpa had been in the process of a move, or they were traveling from western Minnesota around the Alexandria area or the Traverse area. And I don't know what the reason was, but the baby died before it could be baptized. And that when Mike and Wally got to town and contacted the church authorities about burying the child, they said, I don't know, they said they could bury the baby out here on the corner. And Emily remembered the baby's name being Arthur, not Harry. And we don't have a year, but we know that George Barrett was born in 1907, I believe. We'll look in a minute here. Here we are at the Barrett plot, and I don't know if you can see that corner out there where baby Harry was, but you know, like kind of a ways away from the family plot. Mike Barrett, my grandpa, bought these 8 spots here back in the 40s. And here is Michael Barrett, 1882, 1961. I'll come back later, or in a different video, I'll tell a story about Mike. Here's Walburga, 1889, 1968. And then here's my dad, Walter John, 1913, 1971. And next to him, Lillian Josephine, 1916, 1989. And then Grandpa has these other 4 lots right in the next row. The only one here occupied is the Barrett twins. A little piece of ribbon here. There's kind of blue there. But all it says is Barrett twins. We don't even have a year. The tiles are missing. I'm not sure about the year. I think their names were Timothy and maybe Thomas. Someone's going to have to help me with this. And then over next to Grandma and Grandpa, there is another plot here with George and Islet. George was my dad's older brother. Yeah, here he is, born 1907, died 1965. There's Islet, 1917, 2006. Wow, so this must be my cousin Judy Johnson. It's strange that it's like facing the other direction. Anyway, I'll come back and tell more stories about these on the next video.